My name is Ed Moss. I'm originally from Florida. When we purchased the inn, our family decided that the mission statement for the Orleans Inn would be to provide food, service, comfort, and lodging for a lifetime of memories and friendship. For generation to generation, the Orleans Inn has been here greeting guests and just providing a real sense of comfort and belonging and history, and we hope that that continues for generations to come. When the Pilgrims came over, they actually sighted the land right off the Orleans Inn, which is the Nauset Highlands. One of the families on the Mayflower was the Hopkins family, and two of the children were Giles and Constance Hopkins, and Constance was the teenage girl who came over with her family. Now, when they settled in Plymouth, 3 years later, the Anne came over and brought Nicholas Snow. And Nicholas and Constance met. They were married. They were one of the 7 families to settle this area of Cape Cod known as the Nauset region. The Orleans Inn itself was built by a descendant of Constance Hopkins and Nicholas Snow. Captain Aaron Snow had 7 children with his wife, Mary Tutty Snow, and they built this wonderful old 6-story Victorian mansion on the shore of Town Cove. Captain Snow would bring in his schooner ship from New York and Boston, and they would dock behind the inn. They would unload the supplies, and this became the center of commerce for this whole area of the Cape. They lived upstairs, and they actually had the store on the main level. When the railroad came to town, it was easier to get supplies through rail, so they moved the store to Main Street, and this store is still operating to this day. Aaron and Mary passed away within weeks of each other in 1892, and the inn was vacant for 8 years. It was boarded up. There were 2 older ladies who were sisters who bought the inn and turned it into a boarding house in 1900. They operated the mansion as a boarding house, and then it became a guest house and became fairly prominent. A German fellow bought the property in the late 40s. They put on a beautiful dining room, a tavern, they added guest rooms, turned it into a beautiful resort hotel. It was the place in the 50s and into the 60s. Then it went through a few owners who really were not able to take care of the inn, and it fell into disrepair, went through several bankruptcies, foreclosures. I had driven by the inn for about 25 years. I had met my wife in 1972 in Florida, where I am from. And she brought me to Cape Cod, and we went to Rock Harbor and Nauset Beach. I fell in love with it as well, and we would bring our 8 children here every summer. I was in Florida in January of 1996 reading the article about how the inn had fallen into disrepair and was foreclosed on and went into bankruptcy. It was always my dream to be where we love to be, and that was Cape Cod. And I ended up purchasing the inn from the bank, having no idea what we would do with it. My son Ryan came up right out of high school. He's 18 years old, had just graduated high school, and he took the inn on as a project. He oversaw the renovations. We had quite a difficult time with contractors and a lot of unseen problems, and we were pulled in way over our heads. About a year later, most of the major construction was done, and we were able to open on a limited basis. When my son decided to restore the inn, he was focused mainly on the restaurant. I was more concerned about the hotel rooms and realizing that either the restaurant or the hotel really could not support, but together they could. And then there was a synergy that actually came about that just was amazing for private functions. And we had people coming up to us asking us if we could hold their wedding or their anniversary or their birthday or their civic function here. And we rebuilt the entire deck and put a large awning, and it's an enclosed canopy, and that's right off the function room. So we're able to accommodate groups up to 250. And the nice thing is the family and the guests can stay here in the hotel. We do have the restaurant that's available, but we can take that entire level right on the water and make that available for private functions. And then some came to us and asked if they could have their ceremony here. And they really liked the windmill site, which was adjacent to the inn. Guests will have their ceremony at the historic Windmill Park right next to us, and then walk right into the inn for their reception. We even started getting some antique cars to go with the theme of the inn. We even make those available to the bridal party, so if they want to be escorted over to the windmill over in one of the antique cars, we make that available as well. We only do one wedding a day, and it's very, very special. And everyone is custom, so whatever requests that the bride and groom have, we do everything in the world to accommodate that. And the nice thing is to see families that come in, and they always like to go up to the cupola. They like to go up to the highest point in town, which is our cupola, and peer out and see the ships coming in and imagine what it was like when this was a pirate's cove. And the children just absolutely love it. We've got areas where the families can relax, and it's just a wonderful place for families to get together. The inn has done very, very well. We've received a number of awards. Cape Cod Life is doing a feature on the inn, which will come out in their May issue. And the inn is really taking on a life of its own. And we're here just as caretakers for this wonderful old building. And we just continue to grow. 2008 was the best year we've ever had. And this year is even better. Promises to be growth every year from here on out.